The real financial revolution is taking place far from the US, where lawsuits and regulatory arguments are the main news stories. In American courts, the SEC and Ripple are going up against each other. In Eurasia, Africa, and the global south, a huge event is happening. The Brics countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, just agreed to use XRP as their chosen tool for cross-border settlement. This could change the way global finance works. Since that happened, the long rule of the US dollar, especially the petrodollar, is coming to an end. The point is not to make a fuss or guess. It's a game of math, tactics, and staying alive. The oil contracts, international banking rules, and trust in the US economy's security have made the US dollar the king of world trade for decades. But trust is going away. You can now use sanctions as a tool. SWIFT is now being watched. They are also ready to start something new because they are sick of being told how and with whom they can trade. That something could be running on XRP, BRICS, is not a small group, let's be clear. These countries are home to more than 40% of the world's people and make up more than 30% of the world's GDP. More importantly, though, they make and use a huge amount of the world's goods, including food, technology, oil, gas, metals, and commodities. They have been forced to use the US dollar for payment for years, no matter how friendly they are with Washington. It was never meant to be balanced. It was made to be strong. The dollar-based trade order let the US make money and spend it without any consequences, but everyone else had to work hard to earn or borrow that same currency. Music. Now, Brics is in charge of getting rid of the dollar. This is not a new trend. Russia and China have been calling for it since the financial disaster of 2008, but recent changes in world politics have made it happen. The rest of the world woke up when the US put sanctions on Russia, frozen sovereign funds, and turned SWIFT into a weapon. Every big economy outside of the West asked all at once, what if we're next? Brics started looking into other ways to settle down. The first ones were two-way cash swaps. Then there were trading sites backed by gold. But, each choice had its limits. There is no such thing as a fair currency. They're political, hard to predict, and, to be honest, hard to expand abroad. A bridge that was fair, decentralized, stable, and quick was what Brics really needed. Something that could move trillions of dollars without being able to be tracked by any one government. XRP steps on the stage at this point. There is more to XRP than meets the eye. It was designed to do just this, act as a layer of global settlement between banks, currencies, and borders. It can handle thousands of transactions per second, has transaction times of about 3 seconds, and almost no fees. This makes it perfect for large-scale world trade. The most important thing is that no state controls XRP. In that case, it is politically okay for all Brics members, even foes like China and India. Ripple, the company that led XRP's main growth, has been building ties in the places that are now leading the move away from the dollar. Ripple has teamed up with the state banks of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates to offer pilot programs for digital asset-based money transfers in the Middle East. Japan's SBI Group, Singapore's Monetary Authority, and a number of banks in Thailand, the Philippines, and South Korea are all big users of Ripple in Asia. These integrations aren't just picked at chance. They are a planned, quiet rollout of new financial infrastructure that will finally replace the old correspondent banking system and put the US dollar out of business completely. Think about this situation. Brics decides to use XRP to settle trade. Saudi Arabia decides to use XRP to price some of its oil. Indian and Russian smart contracts on the XRP system let them trade natural gas. China pays Brazil for large supplies of rare earth minerals with XRP. There is no doubt about these things. They are prototypes that are already moving. Some of them are happening under deals not to talk about them. Some of them are being tested as part of blockchain tech. But it's easy to see the path. It's not like anything we've seen before how much demand this would give XRP. There are a set 100 billion XRP tokens available, but only about 50 billion are in use right now. If the XRP ledger starts to be used for global trade settlement, the need for cash could easily hit trillions of dollars. Let's say that the Brics trade, which is worth more than $4 trillion a year, starts to settle only 25% of its volume with XRP. That's $1 trillion worth of trade that needs cash right away for payment. You'd still need hundreds of billions of dollars worth of XRP held in escrow wallets and trading hubs, even if velocity was high, which means that XRP is used more than once a day. This makes things scarce. Price pressure comes from lack of supply. And the combination of price pressure and world need creates a value that makes $10,000 per XRP look like a very real possibility. Some people will say that's not possible. The market value would be through the roof. But that criticism doesn't understand how XRP works. Every user doesn't have to keep XRP in their wallet. It works like a central clearinghouse. It's a bridge and a token that moves value between tracks. It doesn't matter how many people bet on XRP. What counts is how much institutional liquidity depends on it. When oil companies, central banks, and global trading houses start using XRP to settle deals worth billions of dollars every day, the price will go up regardless of what people want to buy. In fact, that's the difference that needs to be made. Infrastructure versus speculation. Bitcoin is still mostly just a guess. Ethereum is geared towards developers. XRP wants to be like pipes that move money around in the background. There is no hype. There is only speed, low cost, and equality. This is something that Brics knows. There is no need for a new coin. Instead, they need a system. XRP is that rule set. The signs are already there. More and more people at Brics summits want a shared settlement currency. It's not a Brics coin or a Chinese yuan replacement. It's a decentralized ledger system that can be checked, trusted, and used without any political strings connected. The news talks about possible new regional currencies or tokens backed by gold, but people who work in the field say it's actually something simpler. Use the system that's already there, make use of what works, make it bigger. This is what we need, and XRP fits the bill with its connections with Ripple and growing liquidity corridors. If XRP is able to become even somewhat important to Brics trade, it will set off a chain reaction. ASEAN countries may do the same. The AFCA, African Continental Free Trade Area, could use the same kinds of tools. Latin America, which has more and more brick-and-mortar partnerships, might join in, and Europe, which is already annoyed by US extraterritorial sanctions, might finally see what's writing on the wall. After that, we're no longer just guessing. As we move towards a multipolar financial world, the dollar will be one of many reserve currencies, and XRP will be the link between them all. In this kind of world, XRP is more than just a valuable thing. It's important equipment. It's not the same as the dollar, but it makes the dollar less important. In this way, XRP changes the very idea of how money moves around the world. This future